This message is finding you because a light bulb has just, or a light switch has just switched. I'm seeing a light bulb switch switching. So there is something that has just flipped for you. A light, or a flip has switched. And I'm hearing that there is this really intense clarity that is coming through for you at this time. There is this honesty and this rawness that is coming through for you at this time, and it is connected to you. It's very connected to you, okay? This has everything to do with your sense of self, your security, and the journey that you are on with yourself right now. Whew. Whew. So what I'm feeling is that the past little while you have kind of lost yourself. There's a little bit of you that, it's not that you've lost yourself, but you've lost yourself to find yourself. I'm seeing a wandering. I feel like there is a part of you that has been searching for either love or something outside of yourself, or something that you felt you needed to find or experience that you couldn't find within yourself, okay? And so you were wandering around is the energy that they're giving me. They're also giving me a forest, so forests could be really significant to you. I'm just getting like really magical forests as well, so like magical, mystical forests. And there's all these different pathways that you can go down, and you're wandering through these pathways, and even though you know which path is yours, I feel like there's a part of you that just wanted to wander a little bit and kind of experience some different stuff and like test the waters is what I'm getting. So I feel like the past like 3 to 6 months from whenever you're finding this video, you've really been wandering. You've been wandering around, and you probably have lost your pathway just a little bit is what I'm getting. There's a part of you that felt like you needed, your heart desires more, okay? And this message is finding you at a time when you're having this realization in your heart that your heart matters, that your desires matter, and that you don't need to give up your desires and what you really are striving for right now and what you need and like want in your experience. I also feel like this is very connected to love. So there's, and it could be love in so many different formats in your life, but I feel like there's something very strong about the sense of the way that you're wanting to experience love at this time. You were wandering off and I almost want to say sacrificing your desires in order to feel love. And I feel like that's a little bit of a hard truth that's coming through at this time. But again, I feel like this fog, they're showing me the Page of Swords. I feel like whatever fog was going on in your reality, maybe even from some kind of a relationship or certain types of relationships in your life, I feel like that fog has really cleared. And you've suddenly become very aware that you have gone back on your desires, or that you have made your world about someone else. And I think that that's a hard thing for you to really come to acknowledgement of, because you've worked so hard to live in your own world. And what's happening right now is that this all actually happened in perfect alignment in order for you to get lost so you could re-find yourself again. Okay, so this energy is very significant because you needed this experience. And I think a part of you is coming to terms of needing to realize that it's hard for you to also realize that what you were searching for, it wasn't matching what you were trying to make fit. Like I almost am getting this energy of you were trying to make something fit. Maybe it was a person, maybe it was a certain type of friendship, maybe it was a certain relationship. You were trying to make something fit, and it just wasn't quite working the way that you wanted it to, even though I'm getting like a 90-10, like it was 90% what you wanted, but there was still that 10% that just wasn't really in alignment. And that 10% also required and asked of you to kind of sacrifice a lot of what you were desiring. It's like that 10% was actually something that was so important to you. And you're realizing at this point that you're not willing to sacrifice that. That's something that actually is extremely valuable to you, especially in terms of relationships and love, okay? And your grounding, because I feel like the root chakra is really significant in this reading as well. I've also got maroon on, and I have maroon trees outside my house, and they're really standing out to me as well. Like I feel like there's something really strong here about your This is very tied to your material world almost, but even more than that, it's your grounded world, and your grounded world is love. I feel like whatever this is that you kind of like tried to make fit, and I say that in that term because I don't think you really felt like that's what you were doing while it was happening, okay? And maybe you still don't even really fully agree with that term, but I feel like it captures the concept, okay? So that's why I'm doing these, and yeah, you feel. So what's going on here is that you're actually realizing that where your energy and essence needs to be in turn and tuned into is a part of you that has that security and love that stems from yourself. And when you're trying to make something fit, you're literally pulling your own roots out of your system and losing your grounding in order to make something else fit. And so I almost feel like what's going on here for you in this exact moment is that some kind of clarity has just come through that has shown you that that's happening, okay? That your roots have been getting ripped out of the ground, and you're like, this is gonna kill what I've been working so hard to craft in my reality, because I'm trying so hard to make something else work that may even be, you might even have, because I'm getting roots being pulled out of the ground, right? Relocation could be a thing that's coming through. You may have felt like whatever you were trying to make fit caused you to relocate, or it could have been some kind of a connection that was like overseas or over borders is what I'm getting, some other place, and it just like pulled you away from what you're really trying to cultivate and build. And what you're really coming to and realizing is what's important right now for you. And I think this is so powerful, okay? So first off, this is incredible. You're so powerful to be having this realization. And it's such a difficult thing to come to the truth in this way. I also feel like it's very significant when this message is finding you, that you're hitting this brand new era in your life, okay? You're really opening yourself up to something new, and it's because you're coming back home to yourself instead of searching for home in others. And I think that it's such a like profound energy because you are where you begin, okay? Seriously. And you're finally coming back to that energy and back to that understanding so that you can build something that has roots deep into the earth through you, and you attract what wants to join and build with you. I feel like there is connection here to love, to be completely honest, but I feel like you're needing to reroute some of your systems before new love can arrive for you. Whew! Talk about confirmation. Hold on. Whew. I'm also getting this like clogginess in my throat. So this might be, I feel like there is some kind of a really honest conversation, or maybe a few honest conversations that you're about to enter into. So there's an incoming conversation that might be one of those harder conversations, right? It's not that it's just hard, it's just very raw and vulnerable. And you're about to have that conversation with someone. Okay, so incoming conversation, woo! But it's going to be one of the ones that really like resets your foundation, because I feel like you're really going to be honoring yourself in this conversation, and I think it's so important that you do. And you can feel this already. You may have even been journaling or writing or really processing this conversation before it even happens for yourself, okay? Maybe even like having the conversation in your head over and over, trying to understand how you can really truly stand in your center and speak from your, I'm getting like your rooted system, okay? Because I think that I'm getting this feeling that you're still learning right now. Like you're in this really beautiful era of learning how to hold your boundaries and speak respect on your own name and on your own desires and on your own worthiness, okay? And so it's something that is still in progress. And what I'm getting is that it's okay for it to be in progress, okay? It's okay for you to be in this transitional period where you're learning to stand up for yourself in a respectful, honorable way that's not to cause harm upon anyone else either. Okay, so whatever this conversation is that is coming in for you, it is a conversation that you walk through and it feels very vulnerable and naked, and you walk through this conversation and you're reset. Okay, that's the energy that I'm getting. You're walking into a new era, and this is an era that is very rooted in your system and will attract. I'm getting love, and I know that for all of you it's not going to be the exact same type of love, because I'm just feeling love in general, but I feel like it's you learning to finally attract love that matches your desires and worthiness. And I think that you almost feel like whatever this was that you were holding on to or trying to make fit, I feel like you may even feel like you're kind of having to give up a little bit in order to allow something more aligned for you to come in. And it's a very, very hard thing to do. So I just want to keep reiterating, like, do you realize how strong you are? Do you realize how powerful you are? Because it takes the strongest souls to be able to move through these really raw and vulnerable moments in your life in order to realize that sometimes you do have to let certain things go to make space for new things to arrive. I'm seeing a home being cleared out, and in order for that, for like new furniture to come in or new physical stuff to come in, you have to clear space for something new. Otherwise, there is no space for something else to arrive. That's what's happening right now in your life. And this hard conversation, this vulnerable part that has to do with your throat chakra and that clarity from your mind to your throat, because we have both coming through, okay? So your third eye and your throat. I also feel like intuitively the truth of this whole entire thing is that you kind of always knew this. I kind of get this vibe that you have a little bit more of like an intuitive or psychic sense to the things that you're moving through, and whatever this was that you wanted to fit so badly, you never knew that it was going to fit. And there is reason behind that, and it's because you knew that this was just for a season and not to stay. And you knew that you were just meant to learn a lesson, and sometimes certain things come into our realities to teach us how to hold our boundaries, to teach us how to come back home to ourselves, and to teach us how to stand up for our values and what we actually desire and need, right? For a second I thought I was gonna taste something, but then I was like, I don't know what that taste is. Okay. Again, these conversations that are coming in, are you moving that old furniture out of that house, that clear house? You could also even be moving homes and saying goodbye to something that you've had for such a long time. But again, there's something really big about certain things just don't fit anymore. And I'm also hearing a message that maybe sometimes there were moments where you thought that they did, you know, where they did actually align so, ooh, confirmation. They aligned so vibrantly in your reality that you really daydreamt about these things lasting and being around. And if it's a person lasting and being around, right? Because it's tied to your heart and it's tied to love in your reality, okay? But whatever this is, right, you really did feel like it fit for a moment, or that it could have. You saw the potential, and for that moment it did fit. And now it just doesn't align anymore because you have changed, you have grown, and you have come more into yourself and more into the recognition of what you're wanting in the future, or even in this exact moment, more so like this exact moment. And that is actually what makes whatever it was not fit, right? It's that you actually realize there's more for you on the horizon. And now it's time for you to look back and be like, I'm going towards that horizon, and I'm leaving anything here that isn't meant to come with me. Goodbye. So there's almost this energy of like a letting go, but it's also really, really hard to let go, and it feels kind of bittersweet, right? It's that moment where like you're like, I do have to make some kind of a shift. That's that switch flipping, right? You're like, whoa, like I actually need to really put things into perspective and come home to my truth. And I think you've done that. That's why this message is finding you. And it's a beautiful energy. I just have to say, like, for the ones that this is love, there is an insanely magical love that is awaiting you. And you were always meant to move through this energy that you're currently moving through. You needed to come back to yourself, and you needed to have this sense of security and this sense of recognition of your desires matter. And You matter. I feel like, again, this energy keeps coming through of like you were giving yourself away. You were letting your roots get ripped out in order to either give love or water someone else, is what I'm getting, or something else. And I think that you always needed to have this experience so that you could remember and realize as you move forward to value your own root system and not let it be ripped out in order to receive, because that's not going to serve you in the long term, is what I'm getting, okay? Whoo! Okay. Yeah, I didn't expect love to come into this message, to be completely honest, but I do feel like there is some kind of a really deep love that is on the horizon for you. And I'm almost getting this energy of you need to catch up to it. So it's interesting, you do need to leave behind whatever it is that you intuitively are feeling, because you are very connected and you have really strong intuition, okay? And so you know exactly what it is that you gotta let go of, that you gotta walk away from. And I'm literally seeing like, okay, so I'm seeing a stallion, like a white horse, over on the horizon, and I'm seeing you as a horse. So it's like the stallion is your love, is what I would perceive of this, and you're a horse as well. And I'm seeing them over on the horizon, but they're not moving. They're continuing to walk forward. So it's almost like you need to move forward and walk your ass into that horizon to walk next to them, to move forward with this love in your life. But they're not going to come back and find you. You got to catch up, you know? And it's not that you got to rush anything. It's this energy of you need to let go of what was keeping you in a town before, because you're not meant to be in that town. You're not meant to be in that energy, right? Again, this could also have, I keep getting these energies of like representation of living places. So you really might be moving as well, for some of you, not for all of you. But again, like this is something about letting go of something that would have held you in a specific place that wasn't in alignment for you, or that was pulling you in a direction that wasn't pulling you where you were meant to be, but was pulling you over in a different direction. I'm even getting an energy of like you were here, the horse is here, and then there's a town here, and whatever was holding you, it was pulling you in this direction away from your system that's trying to go this way. And so it was literally trying to pull. It's not that whatever this was, it doesn't mean that they were intentionally trying, or it was intentionally trying to pull you away, but it really needed to pull you to your center, to look over there and be like, I respect and appreciate you as you are, but I need to move this way. This is where I'm going, and this is where my like line and path is. I'm seeing the Pathfinder from my Cosmos deck. There's something really divine about your path, and your destined path is what I'm getting as well, the weaving of your reality, okay? And so it's almost like you had some kind of like a pit stop for the past 3 to 6 months, where this pit stop kind of slowed everything down for you to have this experience and then come back into setting boundaries and holding standards for yourself even more strictly than you have before. I'm also feeling a little itchy, so you could feel a little itchy at certain moments, kind of uncomfortable, like you're shedding skin. I'm getting snake skin coming through as well, so snakes could be significant for you, but I feel like you're shedding an old skin. And I actually get the vibe that you do this quite often. You shed your skin like no one sheds their skin. Like you are a fucking shapeshifter, I swear. But there's just this energy of like, again, it's itchy when you shed that old skin so your new skin can get out. You're literally like wiggling out is the energy. And I feel this every few months for the collective, but right now for you specifically, this is like quite strong. You may even notice that like certain parts of you are really being left behind right now. I want to say like certain aspects of your physical reality. There are certain things that you used to love. This could even come to like things that you had in your house, or certain like furniture things, or like I'm really getting physical, so like maybe certain ways that you used to wash your face, or ways that you used to take care of your body, or I'm even getting like wardrobe stuff, like things that used to feel super in alignment don't anymore, and you're really letting them go. You're letting their season end. and you're starting new. You could even be experiencing like new things coming in instead, or you have like new facial things, or you have new wardrobe stuff, or maybe you bought something new for your home recently, or there's certain aesthetics, like a new theme that you've been living with. I'm getting like new color systems, or even like shifting your entire reality to match the seasons, and like it just feels very new and exciting, right? And also there's just so much that's being like let go of and cleansed out at this time, I'm getting as well. There's like massive rain being poured at this time outside, but it's just raining, but like I'm getting this energy of there's a lot of clearing that's happening for you right now again. Like, you know, when there's a lot of smog in the sky, you could live somewhere where there's a lot of smog. The only way that it really clears out is when it rains, right? That's that energy that we've been feeling this whole message as well, that like Page of Swords, where the fog is being cleared out, and it's being cleared out by a cleansing that is happening for you. I also feel like something really significant has just happened with that like switch being flipped. Woo! Yep, here we go. Let me restart this. 2101 on the timer. But I'm feeling that something really significant has just happened for you, where I think that something has been cleared in your body. You may have even cut some kind of a cord or cut cords to specific people. These people are going to be reaching back out to you again, but again, that's going to be what insinuates the conversations that are meant to happen for you. But it's because you've cut the cord. Like, you may have literally physically cut the cord, okay? Or you may have done some kind of a cord cutting ritual, is what I'm also hearing. But there's some kind of like energy that has been holding on to you so strongly, and you finally cut it and let it go. Now you're being entered into a moment where you really need to stand strong in your boundaries, okay? This message is finding you for a very divine reason, and I do feel like it has a lot to do with you really speaking on your truth and holding your boundaries, because you are going to be challenged. These, like, whatever, the person, the place, the experience will be like kind of coming back around again to see if you can hold your boundary and what you actually desire, want, and need. Because it's not really that you're being tested, it's just that you're being asked to speak up, is what I'm really getting. Like, share your voice. Your voice is significant. Woo! There we go. Ah! Your voice is really significant, and it's important that you be heard. I feel like there's a part of you that like forgets that you matter too, and I think that this whole entire like little 3 to 6 month season for you, you've done that quite a bit. You've forgotten that you're actually a teacher as well, that you have a lot of wisdom inside of you to share, and you need to speak up on it and give yourself also the time of day and conversation to share your voice. I'm also getting a bit of an energy that maybe you've had conversations in the past 3 to 6 months where anytime that it was your turn to talk, your voice was a little shaky, or you didn't feel valuable in your voice. Like, you almost felt like you were asking for too much attention when you would speak. And I think that that's something that you're growing through and learning to give yourself the time of day right now. Like, you've probably just been learning a lot of lessons, even within the past few years is what I'm getting, where you're learning that it's okay for you to speak, and your voice is valuable. It's very significant, okay? There's a lot about voice, there's a lot about conversations, and there's a lot about shedding coming in, and also stepping into new skin and stepping into a new confidence in your skin and your voice, right? Ooh, my eye is itching. That's interesting. That never happens in readings. Woo! That can be significant for someone too. Okay. Wow. Yeah, there's something coming through about allowing yourself to be heard as well. I just think that, like, you know that you have wisdom, and you know that you share yourself in certain settings. Wow, my eye again. Holy crap. And my ears are clogged. That is so interesting. I wonder what that is connected to. Woo! But there's a part of you that, like, doesn't realize how valuable you are to be heard. And you feel it when you're with yourself, but I feel like when you're with others, this is very connected to others, especially in conversation and love as well. Maybe you have a really hard time like speaking up even with your friends, or like sharing what you're moving through, maybe you don't feel safe, or you don't trust people to listen to you, or when people do listen to you, maybe they come back with opposing opinions, and it makes you feel invaluable in sharing your voice and sharing your truth and what you're speaking up on. And I think that that's something that you're learning through as well right now, is to allow yourself to be heard, and to remember that these people are learning from how you show up as well in conversation. There are things that are valuable in how you speak and how you share yourself, and when you don't share yourself, you don't give the opportunity for others to learn as well. We as human beings we're meant to learn from each other. Like, that's part of being a human being. We don't come here to be alone and not learn from one another. That's why relationships are so significant. That's why people and friendships and family are all such a big thing in our realities, is because that's how we learn best. Like, we learn from the reflective energy and from the ways that we show up in conversation and what we aspire to and what we don't like, right? That's also significant, and you're forgetting, or you let yourself forget, that people are learning from the ways that you show up as well. And it is important for you to speak and be heard, okay? Herds could be significant. I'm seeing like herds of animals. Okay, let's see if there's any other information that wants to come through. I'm feeling a little bit of a tiredness in my eyes. You could be feeling kind of tired recently, or maybe you've just felt really exhausted trying to make things work recently, that it's taken, again, it's like pulled your roots out of your own center. So you felt like way more tired than normal. That's going to be rebalancing itself, because as you have these conversations and step through them, you're actually going to be gaining your energy back. I'm also hearing to tell you to call your power back to your body, in case you forgot you have power, babe. Hun, sweet pea. Call your power back into your body. Say, I call my power back into my body. I call my source energy back into my body. Amen. Hallelujah. Okay, sorry. Just got so excited. Okay. I'm so excited for you. I feel like this is such an important moment in your era of life right now, where you are exactly in this moment. I think it's so powerful. And ooh, confirmation. I'm really excited, because I feel like there's some really beautiful, like, I'm getting like manifestations that are on, like, about to arrive in your reality. And I think that you're like on the precipice of them, right? So you're like just about to receive, but it's like through this like vulnerability that you're going to be receiving. And I'm really excited for you. Like, I think the energy that I'm feeling is just like so good. And this is how you're about to feel. Like, you're about to feel really in yourself, and like realigned and reactivated, and just like you're back on your path is what I'm really getting. Like, so divinely in tune with yourself. And I think you've been missing this energy, like, and it's because your roots were being pulled out. You were being pulled in different directions, and you were trying so hard to hold on, but you were like, damn, I'm about to flow in the wind if I lose my last root system. You know what I mean? So you have some really incredible stuff coming your way. I'm so excited for you. And just remember, hold your boundaries. Whatever this conversation is that's about to arrive in your reality, speak up for yourself. Okay? How other people respond is not your responsibility. What is important right now is you sharing your heart in a vulnerable, raw, and honest way. Okay? Whew. Okay. I love you so very much. And if this message resonated with you, please do let me know, and I will see you in the next message.